Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Mr. Lynn. Hope you're having a good day. Today we're going to be doing a lesson on observational drawing, and we're going to be focusing on value today and overlapping shapes. Now I'm in my backyard, and behind me, over there, is the side of my yard. There's a privacy fence and there's some kayaks. And so when I was looking around for what to draw, because again, observational drawing is just drawing what you see, I was attracted to the fence because the fence is made up of geometric shapes, mostly rectangles, which makes it pretty easy to draw. Now I got a lime tree that I planted over there, and the kayaks as well. And the lime tree and the kayaks will give us an opportunity to draw some organic shapes. But we're gonna go over there and draw it out. I'll kind of talk about how to set up the drawing. I'm gonna draw in pencil and then in marker. So I'll be doing what I'm gonna practice what I preach, which is draw light till you know it's right. Then go darker or trace with the marker. And then we're gonna be adding value today instead of color. So value is the lightness or darkness of things. So you can have light values and dark values and medium values. For example, like a dark blue is dark value, light blue, light value. You can also have values with no color. So like black is the darkest value, or white you would say has no value, gray's in the middle. So let's go do some drawing. So I'm sitting here in my chair looking at my privacy fence here that separates my property from the person who lives next to me. A wonderful man named Will. And I was kind of attracted to drawing this composition. Composition means the arrangement of objects in a picture because of the fence. This fence to me looks really easy to draw. We've got rectangle, 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 rectangle. Lots of straight lines that are all vertical and all parallel. And then we've got a lime tree that I planted a few months ago. Trees are fun to draw. While the rectangles are geometric shapes, the shape of the lime tree, organic shapes. I really like this diagonal line here of the paddle. So you have we'll make that a small little rectangle with two organic shapes. And I like the shapes of the kayaks. So a nice mixture of patterns, geometric shapes and organic shapes. So let's go draw that out. It should be pretty fun. So here I have a drawing of the fence. The composition that I was looking at in the backyard, the background of it, the most dominant feature is this fence. And I was attracted to it, like I said before, by its simplicity. It's made up of rectangles. Two vertical rectangles. You got a bunch of horizontal rectangles, and then a lot of vertical parallel lines to make up these slats in the wood. The thing about this is that there's some overlapping shapes. So when I draw this, or something like this, I drew it in pencil first. But the first thing I would draw is the vertical rectangles, because they're kind of like the most dominant parts of that fence. And if you look at a fence closely, if you ever build a fence, you got to put these into the ground first, because the rest of the fence is supported by these vertical posts. So that's what I do first. Now after that, I'm talking as a builder here, but after you put the posts in the ground, the next thing you do is these horizontal rectangles, which on the fence in real life are 2x4s. It's a piece of wood that's 2 inches thick, 4 inches tall. So I would draw those second. I drew with a normal school pencil, and I am tracing with a marker. Now the final drawing is going to be on a different sheet of paper. I'm going to add those kayaks and the kayak paddle over the fence. I just kind of wanted to show what it's like to draw just the fence. Because when it comes to observational drawing, you can draw whatever you want to, and simple things are fun. which is what I love about drawing this fence. It's very, very relaxing. It's very simple to draw. It's very satisfying. So, this is kind of showing you how I'd approach the drawing of the fence. We'll do another drawing to add other things later. So if you're building the fence, the posts go first, and then the horizontal 2x4s go second. And then once you have those up, you put on the individual, I think these are called slats. So when I drew it, as you can see, I drew these lines across that middle rectangle. Just because it's easier to draw a long straight line than it is to draw here and then stop, and then here and then stop. So, but when I trace it, of course, I'm not going to draw over this rectangle, because if you rewind a video and you look at the fence, this rectangle overlaps these slats. So when you trace it, you just don't trace all of it, and that will make it look like it'll make it look like it is. That middle horizontal rectangle overlaps these slats. And these lines aren't perfectly straight. I am not using a ruler. It's art, so it doesn't need to be perfectly straight. If I was an architect, it might need to be, but I'm not. Okay, now let's do all this, shall we? So the tops of these are little rectangles. In real life, the tops are horizontal, the sides are diagonal, but I'm not drawing total realistic stuff. But, so there's my fence. Oh, can't forget that. All right, now like I said, with this drawing, I wanted to add some of the other elements in the composition. So one thing that I want to add is the fruit tree, right? And then I got these kayaks here, 1 and 2. I got the kayak paddle, and my neighbor has these lights that he hangs from his trees. I have them too. It makes for a really nice backyard in the evening time. So if I'm gonna be drawing an observational composition like this, what I would do, well, is what I did. I didn't draw all the details of the fence. Like, this is my fence drawing. I drew most of it. You can see the vertical rectangles are there, and the horizontal rectangles are there, but I did not draw all the individual slats, right? I can do that later. What I want to do now is I added the tree and kayaks and kayak paddle and the lights. So outside of the grass, so I guess, when I go to trace all this, I'll start from the bottom and go up. For the grass, I did a zigzag line. Now, that is not realistic. If you look at grass, it is not a zigzag. However, we're artists, right? So if we draw this line, which is not super realistic, but if we color this the color of grass, people will know it's grass. We can even add some texture, some little lines down there, which would be great. So now for the tree, if we wanted to be super realistic, we could go look at each leaf on the tree and draw each individual leaf. However, one of my favorite things about drawing trees is the contrast between kind of geometric shapes. We have some parallel lines here to make the tree trunk and the branches. And then organic shapes. Organic shapes are shapes in enclosed space, but they don't really have any rules. I often say that geometric shapes have rules, like the rule for a triangle is it has to have 3 straight lines in enclosed space. If you have a shape with 3 straight lines in enclosed space, you have to call it a triangle. Well, these organic shapes don't really have any rules. They're just lines in enclosed space. So they are shapes, but we call them organic shapes. And they're fun to draw because there's no wrong way to draw them. See? And if we color these the color of trees, people will know it's a tree. You don't have to draw every individual leaf to make it look like a tree. And this, of course, is a lime tree. Now, I just planted this tree. I don't have any limes on it yet, but the viewer of the art doesn't know that. So if I want to come back and draw some limes, or maybe it's an orange tree or a lemon tree, I could just draw some shapes in there. Matter of fact, let's do that. This is not the time of year that we get fruit on our fruit trees. It comes later, but that's kind of fun. All right, so now we've got the kayaks. Now the kayaks are kind of rectangly. However, they're not super rectangly, which is to say that the lines of a kayak's hull are curved, much like the lines of any ship of the hull is curved. So it's kind of rectangly, but I'm going to bend those lines a little bit. With this kayak rather, it kind of goes up straight and then has an angle. So I'll have the vertical line, the angle, and then kind of the gently bending line. I don't know if the viewer will be able to tell it's kayak, but such is life. It's more just for me to have fun drawing. Now I love the shape of a kayak paddle. I got a rectangle in the middle, which is diagonal, and then the ends of the paddle are organic shapes. You can kind of see here I drew the shape of it with a pencil, which is kind of like an oval. However, because the kayak overlaps the paddle, I'm only going to trace that part of it. It's kind of how you make realistic drawings. You can see this part of the line here. It'd be more realistic if I drew the other part of that line right there. See? So now that I've drawn the added elements, the tree, the paddle, the kayaks, the grass, now I can come back and I can draw the fence. And I think what I probably will do is get a pencil, draw the vertical lines, and then trace it like I did previously on this drawing. So let's do that, shall we? Alright, so there you go. You can see where I did not trace the lines to the kayak or the paddle or the tree. You can erase those lines if you want to. Excuse me. Or you can just color over them. Usually if you color over lines like this, as long as you draw them nice and light to begin with, they will camouflage when you add value in color. I did not do these yet. These are those lights I was telling you about. Pretty simple. They might not look like lights now, or they might, I don't know. But when I go and add color to them, they will. We're gonna add color and value to this drawing later. And color really helps the viewer of an image interpret what they're looking at. So by using kind of realistic colors, this is obviously a tree, these are obviously fruits, obviously lights. If you don't use color, it's fine, but color can be helpful to the viewer to know what they're seeing. So there's my observational drawing. We'll do a separate video to add color to it, add value to it, which will be fun. I'm excited about that. Yeah, so find something that is simple to draw, like this fence, and then if you can find other things that are a little bit more challenging, a little bit less geometric, that makes it super fun to draw too. Don't forget, I start with pencil first, draw light till you know it's right, then go darker and trace with a marker, and then once you're done, feel free to add color or add value. We'll tackle that in a different video. So enjoy and share what you did. Bye.